All right, guys, let's put on our DFS hats, okay? Give me a DFS pitcher that you want in your roster tonight. Erik, where are you going?
Yeah, there's lots of good options at the top, and I think I might pair one of them with the guy all the way down at the bottom, and that's Joe Ryan making his MLB debut at just $5,000. You don't have to do much to justify your price tag as a pitcher when it's the cheapest pitcher on the board, and I think Ryan should do that here. It certainly helps that he's getting to make his MLB debut against barely an MLB lineup in the Cubs. They've been 24th by WRC Plus on the season, and I'm kind of surprised they've been that high, given the names that, the unrecognizable names that have been occupying that lineup for the last month or so. He came over to the Twins, Joe Ryan did, in the Nelson Cruz trade. Had a 3.41 ERA and 13 starts at the AAA level, but his strikeout and walk numbers are almost off the charts impressive. 36.9% strikeout rate against just a 4.8% walk rate. That's everything you want to see, just absolute dominance of AAA hitters. Also had just 2 earned runs in 10 1/3 innings at the Olympics. From a tools perspective, Fangraphs puts a 60 on his fastball and his future command. You could probably see that in the low walk rate and the high strikeout rate. His secondary pitches are shaky, so this is not a guy we'd necessarily expect to come up and pitch like an ace right away. But again, he's the cheapest pitcher on the board. He doesn't have to do all that much to justify that price. And given that strikeout prowess he showed in the minors and the matchup he has here, I think he's going to justify that price tag quite easily.
All right, Garion, which DFS pitcher are you looking to roster tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to have to echo what Erik was talking about. I think Ryan's a fantastic play with that matchup against the Cubs. But I will say we have maybe the best quartet of starting pitchers at the top end of this slate that I can remember seeing in some time. And I'm going to take the cheapest of the 4 as my favorite. Whenever you can get Garrett Cole for less than $10,000, you have to take that opportunity. There's just so much upside with someone like Cole. And while there has been this perception that he's been struggling, and there was that Rays game in the afternoon where he got roughed up, and it seemed like, oh God, the sky is falling for Gerrit Cole. He's been phenomenal his last 7 starts. Even if you include that terrible start against Tampa Bay, a 1.88 FIP across his last 7, a 37.9% strikeout rate in that span of time. You just don't find that type of upside in a DFS asset for less than $10,000 all that often. So Cole and Ryan, lock it up. It's all good.
All right, Paul, which DFS pitcher are you locking up?
I agree with Garion's call on the Yankee game. This is a night where I pay up for a dominant starter, Jesse. It's all about the win probability in 2 spots where I see a glaring pitching mismatch. We all know the definition of a stopper applies to a starting pitcher who can be instrumental in ending a losing streak tonight. Gerrit Cole, priced at $9,900, is poised to do just that for a Yankee club that's lost 4 straight. He comes into this contest, like Garion suggested, striking out everybody, and it's 83 over his last 58 innings pitched. That's incredible. I see him overwhelming the Angels tonight while an inexperienced Packy McNaughton gives the right-handed power bats of the Bombers a platoon advantage. There will be fireworks near Disneyland for sure. The puny Pirates offense, meanwhile, is last in the majors in runs scored, and it produced only 2 runs on 5 hits in the series opener last night against Chicago, and they'll be hard-pressed to do even that much against Carlos Rodon, who cost $10,100. He's been dominant all year long. Consider that he has a whip of under 1 and a opposing batting average under 200, and the Bucks will be stopped here. Meanwhile, I expect Chicago batters will make it a rough ride for Pittsburgh starter Max Crannick, who's been shelled for a 7.20 ERA and a 1.70 whip and a 3.06 opposing batting average over his 5 starts. All these numbers won't lie tonight.